welcome back to my channel. This is Dom, and a quick, I'm not going to say review, but a quick tryout of the new Army Painters Masterclass Dry Brush Set, what I purchased just recently. These are the things. Are they any good? Let's find out. So I was watching Sword and Steel the other night on the video she did reviewing these Army Painter new dry brush brushes, and I thought that looks interesting, and I had a look on the website. I did actually need some new brushes, and so I ordered a set just to try out. They're not cheap, they're about €15, and I thought, well, she thought they were really worthwhile, and she's Naomi there on Sword and Steel. She's a fantastic painter, and I thought, well, is it any good for a newbie painter like me? But I thought I'd give them a go. So €15, you get a small, medium, and a large, and these things they're quite soft. They're much softer than I was expecting, and they're very much like makeup brushes. I know a lot of people do use makeup brushes for their dry brush. These are my two. They are not soft, and they're not makeup brushes. That's an old Games Workshop Citadel small flat dry brush. You can see it's been well used, and this is actually just a normal watercolour brush, which I tended to use on bigger areas. Don't use it that often, you can see. I tend to just stick with this one. But it's a bit firm, and it's a bit knackered now. I mean, not that it matters, it's dry brushing, right? But I thought maybe it's time to try something different. So I bought this set, and I thought you guys who, like me, might not necessarily be the very best painters, be interesting to see how they work. So I'm going to give it a go. So stick around. Let's have a try. Alright, so I've got here a base of Portuguese Legion Napoleonic troops that are pretty much done. I'm just going to give them a light dry brush over the top just to finish them off. I like doing that with my Napoleon, well, most figures actually, to be fair. I've got a little daub of Iraqi sand from Vallejo, which I think would work quite well here. I've got the small brush. I'm going to try that first. So I'm just going to take a little bit. Always the way with dry brushes, work off most of it. And then we're going to try and see what this does. Let's add a sort of highlight over the top, which I quite like. I'm blocking the view there. What is nice with a small brush like this is I can actually get into the gaps that I couldn't previously get very easily to. I think that's actually really easy to use. I mean, it's a brush, right? So a brush, I was going to really upset people by saying a brush is a brush, but it's not. It's got a broken musket anyway. That's where I picked out the one that I managed to half snap the musket off, which is really annoying. Anyway, but yeah, I like this. I think this is nice. It's very soft, as you can see. Doesn't hold the paint too badly, but enough to get the effect you need. Yeah, quite happy with that. Quite happy with that. Let's try out some more things. So I've got this rather large Churchill tank, 1/43 scale. and it's a bit shiny, it's a bit new looking, so I'm going to wear it out a bit with some dry brushing some Iraqi sand onto it, which is one of my go-to dry brushes. So I'm going to try using my standard long-serving Games Workshop flat dry brush, and I'm going to compare the feel of it, maybe the look of it, I don't know, with the Army Painter Mighty dry brush, they call this. So let me start with my old fave. I've got a little daub here on the paper. Let's rub most of it off, as you do. Just familiar feeling of it going on. It's a bit brushy, it's a bit firm. But then the brushes. Okay, that goes all right. Right, let's try the big mother. Turn the other side. Oops, trying to get paint all over me. So immediately you can feel the softness of the brush, of the softness. That doesn't seem to go on as well on such a firm model as this. Oh no, there we go. I just don't think I had quite enough on the brush. And it's definitely a smoother. Let's go back over the first side with it. It's difficult to describe exactly what's going on, but it feels better, is all I'm going to say. Oops, too much. I knew that was the case. I didn't brush enough off that. Yeah, so I've tried to do that as a comparison, but it's very difficult to do a comparison. But I like the feel of the brush, I really do. I think it goes on really nicely, and because it's a very soft brush, it seems to hit the surfaces much better. But you do seem to need a little bit more paint on this larger area. I haven't noticed it on the smaller, with the smaller brushes, but definitely on this bigger brush I've noticed I seem to need more paint. Than my old favourite. There we go. Let's see the effect the dry brushing has on that tank. It's I obviously haven't done its turret, so I'm surprised actually. I think so it's intangibles. The coverage doesn't seem to be as easy to. No, it's not that. What am I talking about? So I'm intrigued. It feels so much easier to use than my standard brush. Let's put it that way. It goes on really well. Got put too much on this one. Doesn't matter too much because I'm going to use some more shading on top. But it seems to go on a lot easier than my other brush. It feels nicer to use. It feels almost more responsive. If that makes sense. I like it. Bit too much on there, but never mind. So there you go. I do like it. I think it gives a nice feel to the brush. I think the application's pretty good. So I've continued to dry brush a bit. I've used both the medium and the large brush. As well as the Iraqi sand you saw me doing, I put some chocolate brown, particularly around the lower edges to sort of denote mud and wear. And then I used some gunmetal just to put a little bit of a shine where the paint may have come off on the edges. And I think my overall impression with all three of these brushes is extremely positive. I'm really enjoying using them. I think they're very easy to use. The effect is pretty good. Yeah, I do think they're worth the money. It's my honest opinion. Anyway, I hope you found that useful and interesting. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I will see you again soon. This is Dom signing out.